The beginning of June, the humidity is coming along with it. We're on your side with how long the muggy conditions will stick around.
And with hurricane season just 3 days away, we're talking about how companies are beginning to prepare for potential outages.
Plus, with summer vacations already underway, we bring some helpful tips on how you can stay safe by the water.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
All right, we got some extra help here. Tania and Lauren joining us here again for Weather Extra. I don't know what it is about today. Is that the heat wave?
I guess,
it must
yeah.
be.
I was like, here, are we going to the beach? I
It's a
was
little
just
bit of
following her
everything.
lead.
Hey.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
It felt, you look at the humidity today and you look at the heat index. It's not off the chart, but it just felt hotter today.
Yeah, all day at noon, I was like, it's not so bad outside. Y'all, it's not that humid. And then I stepped out on my lunch break and I'm like, ooh, take that back. It still doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
Not much
that
of a breeze.
No.
almost June sunshine. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
right?
we blame the sun.
Well, listen, June 1st, you know what that means. Hurricane season right around the corner. We're going to be talking a lot more about that as well in the days ahead. But right now we're talking about some rain showers making a return. We have temperatures in the 80s. And yeah, it feels hotter. Well, depending on where you are. West Alabama, we've got some higher muggy levels. You go down into places like Sumter County and back into Mississippi especially. That's where we've been seeing a lot of that wet weather. Scattered storms and showers back in areas to the west here. You can see across central Mississippi. Some of this is going to hold together and could reach us later on tonight. And I think early tomorrow morning we could see some of this rain around, especially for areas to the south and west. We have a 20 to 30% chance for showers. Not a total washout, but some wet roads certainly possible early in the day. So before you hit the road, you may want to give yourself some extra drive time in these areas. Back to the east, it's been very, very dry. And even Birmingham down to Shelby County areas to the north. You'll notice it out there tonight, though. The temperatures will improve quickly because of the dew points being a bit lower for those locations. But the rain chances will go up this weekend, and it is going to start to feel more humid, especially Saturday into Sunday, just in time for June. And scattered afternoon thunderstorms will be possible. So you'll want to be alert on Saturday and Sunday after lunchtime, especially for that chance for some scattered storms. And Monday, even though that rain chance drops off, there's going to be some of us around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and next week. We're going to have some more of these scattered storms, and some of those could pack a punch. Some gusty winds, some locally heavy rainfall, and some intense lightning. So we'll have to watch out for that in the next week. But again, next big thing for us, watching for late tonight, early tomorrow, that first alert for some showers coming back, and then we'll see that greater chance to the west and southwest. But watching the weekend for afternoon thunderstorms. Lauren?
Well, with hurricane season set to begin in just 3 days, our Brian Henry joins us now with tips from an EMA director on what you should do to prepare your home.
Of all the storms nature can possibly throw at us, a hurricane is one Hale County EMA Director Russ Whedon dreads the most, even the remnants of one in West Alabama, because of its prolonged effects.
So a hurricane is usually a long-term event. So you have to prepare for 2 to 3 weeks with power outages and that kind of stuff. So it's a whole different kind of response.
All the more reason Whedon strongly encourages you to consider a small generator now if you're one who has medications that require refrigeration.
That's right. So they need to have a way to get their freezers and refrigerators charged during a long-term power outage. So their medication like insulin won't run. That's even if they buy a small generator.
And there's more.
To protect yourself and your family.
Alabama power leaders say take advantage of today's technology. Sign up for wireless emergency alerts
that come to your cell phone. This will notify you about tornadoes or hurricanes. And if there are evacuation orders, you'll also receive those alerts that way. That means you also should have a plan in case you are ordered to evacuate.
Forecasters are predicting anywhere from 17 to 25 named storms, some of which could become hurricanes. Fingers crossed, hope for a quiet season, but prepare now. Don't wait.
Another recommendation that we have is that you have a communication plan for your household.
Well, Cook also suggests that customers sign up for Alabama power outage alerts, which will let you know in real time when power will be restored and where outages are. We'll also let you know here on the First Alert Weather Team. Well, in Texas, another round of severe storms knocking out power across the state. New video showing powerful winds whipping rain sideways. These storms also brought heavy rain and lightning on Tuesday. Thousands of people are now without power, and crews say it could take days to fix. This comes after storms over the weekend left nearly 700,000 people without power.
And in Colorado, heavy rain and gusty winds impacted the Greeley area last night. A Department of Transportation camera showed streets with over an inch of hail, making it look like snow. You can see it there in their hand. Golf ball sized hail came from a thunderstorm that was nearly stationary for more than an hour. The storm prompted the National Weather Service to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. And around the world, Iceland being impacted by yet another volcanic eruption. Take a look at this. This comes after the region experienced hundreds of earthquakes over the past several days. According to the Icelandic Meteorological Office, lava was blasted more than 160 feet into the air, causing thousands of residents having to evacuate the town of Grunavik. This is the 5th eruption since the end of 2023. And in 30 seconds, we take a quick look at your upcoming forecast, as well as bring a heartwarming story out of Good Hope. We'll be right back. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We did want to give you a First Alert update. We've actually heard from our friends at the National Weather Service in Birmingham today, and they actually surveyed damage in areas including Coaling, Vance, Woodstock, West Blockton, Helena, and Pelham this morning. And the damage they found was on par with straight line wind damage. Oftentimes, you can see straight line winds coming through in the aftermath of a storm, and you think, did a tornado just hit me? But there's actually a distinct difference between straight line wind damage on the order of 60-70 miles per hour and something like an EF0, EF1 tornado. So they both have similar wind speeds, but straight line winds, as the name suggests, sometimes the damage is more straight versus if you have a tornado, which is a mesocyclone coming through, that can allow the debris to be more scattered about. But they basically saw that the wind patterns were divergent, meaning they were spreading across. So sometimes you can get that really strong downdraft to come out of a storm, and as it hits the ground, it spreads out in all directions. So that's where we saw that damage through areas like Tuscaloosa, Shelby, Jefferson counties. And in some of those areas, the damage has certainly been in total about 90 miles long and approximately 15 miles wide. So about 60-70 mile per hour winds. You never want to let your guard down with winds either. So as we look ahead in time here, the city of Good Hope will actually be receiving federal money that will help keep you safe during severe weather. Our student journalist Emma Ellis joins us now with more on how city leaders will spend the money.
It may not look like much now, but soon enough, this land right behind me will be home to a brand new community center in the city of Good Hope. This community center will also double as a storm shelter, capable of holding 300 people.
We'd already looked at one in down in Warrior, and we thought it would just be perfect for our seniors to just put a kitchenette in it, and then we could have places for all kinds of meetings and a storm shelter.
After doing some research, Mayor Bartlett and his team found out Senator Tommy Tuberville had appropriation money they could apply for to make this dream become a reality.
We're a small city of a little less than 3,000 people, and for Senator Tuberville to look out for small communities like us, we're just so appreciative.
This shelter will be designed to withstand a Category 5 storm. The city has 2 other storm shelters capable of holding 100 people each.
It's as strong a storm shelter as you can get. There's a lot of people that live in homes that don't have safe rooms. So people can come in, if they have a house that doesn't have a safe room, they can get to one of these 3.
Bartlett says without the City Council's management, this community center would not be possible.
The match on this is going to be $437,000. And to be able to recognize projects like this and be able to pay the match, that just shows that our council here at Good Hope is wise with their money.
Bartlett says they hope to break ground on the community center this summer. Reporting in Good Hope, Emma Ellis, WBRC, Fox 6 News, on your side.
And the center will be located near the intersection of Beech Grove Road and County Road 437.
Well, check this out. Some rivers in Alaska are changing to a rusty orange color, and scientists say it's due to an unexpected consequence of climate change. Scientists say toxic metals are being released by thawing permafrost, which exposes the waterways to minerals locked away underground for thousands of years. Some of the toxic materials being released include iron, zinc, copper, nickel, and lead. Scientists say the discoloration has been happening over the past 5 to 10 years. Very cool. This leads into a new satellite being launched by SpaceX, which is aimed at studying the role clouds and aerosols play in regulating Earth's climate. The launch is a joint mission between the European Space Agency and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. On board is the Earth Cloud Aerosol and Radiation Explorer Satellite, or EarthCare for short. Today's launch was the second of the day for SpaceX, which also sent a group of its Starlink internet satellites to orbit from Cape Canaveral earlier this morning. Still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra, we continue to talk about the rising humidity for the start of your June, as well as go beyond the 7-day into some more hot days ahead. Stay with us. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
And welcome back to Weather Extra. Well, with summer vacations coming up, meteorologists Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson bring us some helpful tips on how you can stay safe at the beach.
All right, we're making it to the first day of June, and what does that mean, Matt? I'll be on the trumpet.
It's the start of the hurricane season.
No.
Oh.
How about the other thing?
First day of meteorological summer. That's actually more positive. I'm
like
sorry
that.
I went that way.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I'll forgive you.
Which
You
means
threw me a curveball.
you want to go to the beach.
We sure do. We are headed to the beach, and the beach forecast. How about that Gulf water temperature there, Matt?
It's getting pretty toasty. You know, the tropics are very, very warm. The Gulf's warming up as well. And on average, as we enter June, those sea surface temperatures along the Alabama Gulf Shore is about 82 degrees.
Well, let's see what it is. And it's 82 degrees.
How about that?
Now, the rip current is low for tomorrow. Well, Thursday being today. Tomorrow? No, it's tomorrow.
Today's Wednesday.
Thank you.
I know, Memorial Day throws everybody off.
It does. And then Friday it's low, but we start to see those yellow flags pop out there again on Saturday.
So we're talking about safety. Yesterday we were mentioning about lightning, and I think today's a good reminder about the dangers at the water. So flags, something you need to pay attention to.
Yeah, if you see the purple flags, it uses, they want to let you know about dangerous marine life. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be jellies in the water, jellyfish, but you don't want to take any chances with that. So you might want to stay out of the water with the purple flags or swim at your own risk. Green flags, that's self-explanatory. We just said it's calm conditions. But yellow and red flags, Matt, what are we looking at there?
Well, yellow, just use caution because there could be some rip current concerns. So if you're not the greatest swimmer or you're a little concerned about it, you might want to stay out. If you see red, it's good for you to stay out of the water. And if you see double red flags, you can't even get in there. And if you do, you can get in trouble with the law.
You sure can. Now, talking about rip currents, what's the best thing to do? You've got escape routes with rip current. I've had one suck me out to sea before, and I just got still, took a big breath, and just let it pull me out. And then later, I was able to swim back into shore, but you can also swim parallel to shore to get out of these rip currents.
Yeah, so you're just getting a lot of energy from the ocean that's pushing you away from the shore. So in most cases, if you're in that situation, you're automatically getting anxiety and you're freaking out by that. So you just have to calm down and, like you just said, just let it kind of let you go out, and then you want to swim parallel. You don't want to fight it. So if you fight it, you're not going to win that battle.
That's true.
So yeah, it's just a strong current. Just let it fade away as you go out, and then you can swim parallel to the coast and then make your way back and make it safely. But a lot of people can get hurt, or there's been several deaths because of rip current threats. So it's just a reminder to be smart and pay attention to those conditions if you're out on the beach.
The Gulf Coast forecast doesn't look too shabby the next 7 days. We have a few scattered showers this weekend. That's the same basic forecast here at home. But if you're heading on down this weekend, maybe staying for next week, it actually looks pretty good. Could be even cooler there than it is here.
That's right. And just a reminder, wherever you go, whether it's the beach, the mountains, here at home, you can get those forecasts through the WBRC First Alert weather app. So it's your favorite season, summer.
I love it. I love it. Hey, while you're at the beach, also take a few pictures, maybe some sunrise, sunset views of the beach. We might can use them all right here on Weather Extra.
That's right. Make him jealous about it.
You're bad. You're bad.
As long as there's not marine life, right, as Mickey explained. But hey, this was a picture sent in on the First Alert weather app from Brandon Still, our First Alert weather watcher from Panama City today. And this was from earlier, a lot of stingrays out there in the water, folks swimming around. So it was stingrays and sun rays there in Panama City for today. 85 in Birmingham, 86 in Tuscaloosa, 83 in Anniston. At this time, no rain showing up across our area. Back to the west, we are seeing some wet weather back into parts of Mississippi, and some of that could move in early tomorrow, late tonight, early tomorrow morning, mostly for areas to the southwest. That's where we think the greater rain chance is located. But as we were talking about earlier today, could be maybe a stray shower further north, but certainly not a major widespread rain event. In fact, for areas to the north, notice how Gadsden's 59, 58. It's still going to be cool and dry tomorrow morning for a lot of these areas to the north and northeast. Last night it felt incredible out there because let me step aside. You can see the wind direction and the wind speed. We had that light north wind wind last night really helped out with those comfort levels, and that's going to help us out again for tonight. But there will certainly be some more clouds around. We went a little bit lower on those daytime highs tomorrow with these clouds around. Temperatures again will be rising into the low 80s, but there could be a couple of pop-up showers and storms later in the day, especially if we do warm up into the mid 80s. This axis to the south, there's a boundary in here, and that's where we could see some isolated shower and storm development. But the dry air sort of takes over again Friday. We don't see as much wet weather here. Looks like we're going to stay mainly dry during the day, but might be a couple of isolated showers and storms again tomorrow night. Watching the weekend, though, that's when we see those rain chances ramp up. Next big thing, you'll see a pretty good coverage. The global data here is certainly advertising that. Really need to watch afternoon, evening. Not a total washout, but looks like as we enter June here, we're talking about a classic June setup. Very summer-like forecast this weekend. And I can't rule out, even Saturday and Sunday with these scattered storms, there could be a strong to severe storm in the mix. We could see some locally heavy rain, gusty winds, some intense lightning, so we just can't rule that out through early next week. But I do think as we go beyond the 7-day forecast, we could see a greater chance for some stronger thunderstorms. We'll talk about that. But right now, the weekend looks like rain chances go up, so we'll have to watch it there at Alabaster City Fest, which is always a fun event. Hopefully you can make it out on Saturday, and hopefully that rain will hold off there. But it's still kind of hit or miss there Saturday. Actually, West Alabama looks like the greater coverage for this weekend. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we do have scattered thunderstorms. But going beyond the 7-day forecast, we're having this discussion in the Weather Center, and Tania, looks like late next week, around Thursday and Friday, we could have a cold front, and we'll need to watch that for a risk of strong to severe thunderstorms towards the end of next week.
Yes, Wes, we were talking about that earlier as we were putting the forecast together. So giving you that first alert, that possibility definitely stands. But not only are we looking at that chance for a strong or severe storm likely or possibly by the end of next week, we're also looking at hotter temperatures too. As we look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, June 4th through June 8th, as we begin the month of June, notice all of the U.S. We're not alone here in Alabama, really in the Southeast in general. Most of us, and really all of us, are going to be experiencing hotter conditions as we get ready to bring in the summer months. But still springtime, guys, even for the early parts of June. But we're going to be looking at hotter conditions, so those above average temperatures will likely be around. And I was noticing next week we could see some of those low 90s back in the forecast. So get ready, stay hydrated, buy that sunscreen, and continue to layer that on. But looking at our 6 to 10 day rainfall outlook, June 4th through June 8th, a good mixture across the U.S. More below average rainfall for parts closer to the Pacific North and West, parts of California, Nevada, and further down south and east, though, more near average. Of course, above average for areas that have been impacted by all those severe storms back out into Arkansas and Texas, but across Alabama and even parts of Georgia, we're going to be looking at more near average rainfall amounts. But that doesn't mean we won't see rain and storms. We were just talking about that chance to possibly seeing a storm next week and more stormy weather next week. Of course, things beyond the 7-day can and possibly will change, so make sure you're always checking in with us, and we'll have updates for you here on Weather Extra. Lauren?
Thanks, Tania. Well, Tania always takes us beyond the 7-day, but we want to go even farther beyond the 7-day and give you an updated outlook on the summer heat. And we want to look at this summer outlook in the context of human-induced climate change. So since the Industrial Revolution, there has been marked data that shows that we have been putting more carbon dioxide, more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and that has contributed overall to a warming trend that has never been seen on record since the Industrial Revolution in the 1800s. So you can see here in the Birmingham area, as we look over the past 50 years alone, you can see that summers on average have warmed by about 3.1 degrees here in central Alabama. So again, you see not just that warming trend across the globe, but here in central Alabama as well. And as we look at the big picture across the U.S., this is showing areas that have warmed up since we've been seeing the past 50 years. And you can see some of the regions where that warming trend is most notable is in the Pacific Northwest, the Southwest, and yes, here in the Deep South as well. But one thing we think about is those high temperatures, how they can be so brutal, and especially here in central Alabama when you factor in the humidity. But one thing that can also be a problem is if we're just not cooling down overnight. In the Birmingham area alone, our low temperatures overnight in the past 50 years have gone up almost 4.5 75 degrees. If you can't cool down overnight, then that could lead to more heat-related illnesses, especially in urban areas. We will have a final look at Weather Extra after the break. Oh, done.
All right, some rain in that forecast later on tonight. We'll be fine-tuning the forecast. Join us tonight at 9 and 10.
Hi, Mr. Kendall.